Coach Hess shows up and says, how'd it go today? Well, Coach, it went real good. All of a sudden, before we show up, he said, oh, I forgot to tell you, he's on the track team now. He said, well, I told you to kick them off. I mean, everybody but the NFL players. You can't kick them off. So,
we should put him in track.
yeah.
He was 6'3", 240 pounds.
Yeah.
Free safety could run about 4'5".
Yeah, and that's not exactly right. Well, guys, look, here's what we'll do. Like I said, I will tell this story. When I was a little boy, this was a vacation for me every year. And we'd leave Orangefield, Texas on a Tuesday. I want to say Angelo started either Wednesday or Thursday back then, but it went till Sunday. So we'd come out here, my dad was the coach. We'd ride all the way out. We'd stop on the range and have eat at the Cottonwood Inn. I don't know if you guys remember that. They had a big chicken fried steak, and we'd come in here, and man, it was cool because the Holidome had an indoor pool. Now, I'd never seen one of those before, and man, we swam. So I grew up coming out here, and to have a chance to speak and be a part of it, man, I'm humbled by it. Every time, those guys call me, and I see I have a missed call from Angelo, from somebody out here, it's special. And I'm always very humbled by it because, man, there's been a lot of great people come through here to speak and be a part of this. Let me tell you something. A lot of great coaches that haven't spoken out here too. So when you ask to speak, it's really a compliment from these guys. And just like a lot of you guys who have grown up watching them and knowing them, I had a chance to work for Coach Hess, which was really great. I don't know that Coach Hess over his lifetime has got enough credit for how good a football coach he is. And very magical at handling people, and just really had the it factor, and so we're really proud to be here. And look, I want to tell you this. I'm going to have a card I'm going to leave for everybody. When we get done here, I'm going to put it out so I don't forget to do that. But anything you need, any of this, you just need to give me your address. I'll give it to you. If you don't want to have to write down every little thing, I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. We can get you a copy of what we're doing. So if you'd rather do that, just enjoy seeing it, not taking a million notes. I don't know. I never was good at taking notes and paying attention. That shit's hard to do for me. Maybe while I was bad in school, but like in these other lectures, man, I can't write that shit fast enough to listen, and I'm behind. I don't know, it's just me. So I guess my heart goes out to people that will write all this shit down. You say, well, if I don't write down, I don't get it. No, I'll send this shit to you, okay? So if you want it, you got it. So anyway, but listen, I'm very lucky that I've had a great career. I work for a great man in Les Miles, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But part of the reason we've been very successful at LSU has been because Les Miles gives us the ability to do. He's very supportive. We have a staff that's very supportive. We work very hard at it. Our kids work very hard at it. LSU is a tough-ass place. I mean, if you come watch our guys train and develop and the way we work them all through the week, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough place. And I guess one of the things I'm the most proud of is when the pro scouts come through, one of the things that they tell me is we like to recruit those players because we know they know how to work. And, we all got our issues. I mean, you got to know how to handle them and manage them, and that's all part of it. But I will say this. It's really popular being on the special teams with these guys. And, our guys, a lot of them, we lead the country in putting guys in the league. So, I mean, over the last 10 years, we've put a lot of them in there. We've got a lot of them playing right now. And, they want to be on special teams. I'll tell you a great story. Lamar Landry, come on in, guys. Hey, Coach, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yes, sir. I just tell them a story about my dad. While we're here, tell them that story about playing against my dad back when you were at St. Thomas.
Okay. That was my first year as a defensive
Gary
coordinator.
Kubiak was the quarterback, the starter, but anyway.
Yeah, I was my first year as a defensive coordinator. I was 23 years old. His daddy was running the beer. I thought I was a big time coach, and I had no idea how to defend the weak side beer. Okay, and he was just going up. I was running the 4-2-5. He was going up to my backer with the tackle. I mean, cutting my guard off my defensive tackle off, let my defensive end run up the field, outside linebacker run up the field, and he running outside there, left and right. I know that sounds simple, but he was killing my ass. And I went in there at halftime, and I told the kids, I said, guys, y'all are helping up bad. I was blaming it all on him, but it was really me. After I found out what was going on, well, we made a little adjustment, brought the outside linebacker off the top, got the end outside, and we stopped it. But his dad was great.
Well, thank you, Coach. Anyway, but I'm gonna go through this, guys. I got the return game. What we'll try to do is just kind of show you schematically what we're doing, and then get into a lot of the drills we do that I think really help us. We've had a lot of success, and what I was telling you before I got off the coach walked in, one of the things in our place that I've always appreciated about our kids, they don't like it when you take them off. Now, I'm not going to say all of them are that way, because some of them, as you know, it's like every coach in here, there's guys that don't give a shit about being on it. You know that there's always that few. But Ron Landry, played safety in the NFL, was a first-round draft pick. He's a fifth player taken after the 2007 season. That senior year, we thought we had a chance to have a championship running. Les had decided we're going to look at some guys. How can we be a rested team? And so the deal was we were going to take Ron off special teams. Ron was a tough sucker. Now, he was big, he was tough. He didn't mind telling you how he thought. Now, I respected that about him. So I posted the depth chart, and he wasn't on it. Okay? So he comes to my office, and he was huffing and puffing and foaming at the mouth. And he said, who took me off special teams? I said, Coach Michael. I said, no. I said, really, Ron? I said, no. I said, man, we were trying to have a fresh team, and he about cut me off. He said, I don't give a shit what y'all want. I want back on your special teams. I said, just sit right here. And so I go to Coach Miles' office and knocked on the door, and he says, come in. I said, Coach, we got problems. He said, listen, Ron found that he won't whip somebody's ass by us taking him off his depth chart. He said, what'd you tell him? I said, I told you it was your idea. He said, no, you didn't. I said, no. I said, no, Coach. He said, well, how do you want me to handle it? I said, I'll go whatever direction. He said, well, hell, let's put him back on if he was that pissed off about it. But I guess that's just an example. And that kid worked his ass off. That's how our kids are, I give Coach Miles a lot of credit because he hadn't won 112 games by accident at LSU. If you ever look at who we are, we play great special teams. We play great on defense, and the offense does a hell of a job too. But it's a team effort. But he makes all that go, and he gives us time to work. I don't think if you're anywhere where they're not committed to the time and the walkthroughs and the preparation and the depth chart, it's not going to happen. You're always going to be fighting your ass off to be average and not make mistakes. And I will tell you this, that's one thing about our place. The best players are going to be on it. And yes, we're a better team if we can find a nucleus of guys that aren't starters, and I try to be smart with what I try to do is through the spring we put the best players on there, and we bring the young ones around. Then I do a participation chart where it's every phase, like the running backs, and then I have a list of every specialty and what they're on, so you can look at it. We can look at it as a staff and see, are we overloaded somewhere? Okay, well, if a starting free safety's on 4 special teams, he was a junior last year, he didn't start, you're in trouble because he's not going to make it. He's going to fall out somewhere during that game. So the rule of thumb I go by is I try to keep the starters on 2 and then figure out which 2 we need them on. And then sometimes I'll bring them in and I say, look, hey, here's the problem. Like Jamal Adams, he went out of Dallas, is going to be a third-year starter for us, and has been great on him. He was on all of them, his freshman year, and was our starting nickel. But he wasn't playing all the time. And then all of a sudden, this past year, I brought him and said, which 2 would you like to be on? He said, these 2. And I said, okay. And that's kind of how I saw it too. But I try to give them a little ownership in that. And of course, if you're doing a game in the middle of a game, and you got to know when to. I always try to take the starters that are on it and have a little bit of backups behind them. The best backups, if I can. And, but anyway, I know this. The years I've been a good coach, no matter what I've been coaching, I've had really good players. And we got good players there, but we're able to use them, and they buy in. I think we have a culture of being good on special teams, and you know, it's really a lot of fun. So we'll kind of take you through that right now. We got 2 hours. Appreciate you guys being in here. I'm going to go through the return game. I got a real good kickoff coverage. I got some great drills I'd love to share with you. And I got the techniques broke up, you know, and then show the drills, how we drill it, so I can get you through a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to hit some of this philosophy stuff quickly. I think it's really important. I said the head guy must believe in it. You must sell a kicking game, and it's an easy sell. At our place, it's you know, it must become a cultural way of life, the importance of it. Again, a lot of them understand it's got to be their bus ticket, you know. I mean, there's guys that, and I was that way. I was a heck of a high school player. I got to SMU, man, there's a bunch of freaks running around me, you know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget, I went to SMU thinking I was pretty hot shit. And I ran you know, did all the tests. I thought, man, I'll never play. And then I fought my ass off just to go to the bus and became a special teams player in college. And you know, you have those kind of guys. It's important to them. Okay? Give players ownership, understand the importance of their role. I think all that's very, very important. Okay? And I talked about this a while ago, the commitment that we have at LSU because of Coach Miles. And there's a lot of guys that call me and ask me all the time. They come in and see us, and I tell them the time we have, and they say, shit. I mean, how can I get that? It's part of our success. If you ain't got time to work it, it's hard to get good at it. But our meeting time, I'll walk through our practice, our personnel, the system, supporting coaching staff, and commitment to excellence with the staff and players is phenomenal there. It's an easy place, I'll be honest with you. It's an easy place to be a special teams guy because it's very important to everybody there. Even our damn manager, you know, they do a great job of helping us. Okay? Positive reinforcements, need to hear their good, don't beat them down. I'm going to tell you, we hit a streak this year, first time in my career, where we sucked at kicking the ball. And kicking it off and covering. We had about 3 games skid that, you know, I was trying every way I could to fix it. And I'll tell you what I did. I looked them in the eye, every one of them. I said, guys, it's my fault. I'm going to keep coaching. I never pointed the finger at them. It was bad. We gave up a touchdown against South Carolina. And, I mean, it was embarrassing how we did that. But shit, either coach or let it happen. And that's the way I looked at it. That's the way I approached it. And I never sold those kids out. We just kept drilling and finding ways to do drills. And then all of a sudden, the last 4 or 5 games, we're good team back in the country doing it. So you can't give up on them. But in my 30 years, I've never had to move guys around and figure and find, and guys get hurt. And, you know, it's just sometimes you got to fight your ass off to find that answer. It doesn't always work. And in some years, hell, kick it off and nobody can block them, and we fit everything. And if we don't fit it, we find a way to make a tackle. So it's one of those kind of years, but it was really kind of rewarding the way we finished up. Okay? Do a great job, you know, just throwing the stats out and know where we are nationally in the conference, and they really enjoy that. Again, the success personnel, best players, hungry backups as a nucleus, as many of those guys that I can get, and you don't lose talent, is what you want to try to do. I think that's a lot of fun. Not everyone can be a Wild Tiger. It's an honor. The work, and this is one of the things that's really neat with our guys, is the recruits that come in. They all talk to me about it. It's one, and I've always been real proud of that. And you know, the thing I was proud of when I went back, because I was there for 4 years, I was gone for 5, and I'm back starting my 3rd year. The thing I was proud of is what the kids that had been there before, because all our pro guys come back, and the things they were saying about the special teams and what they had felt like we had done before when I was there was very special. So anyway, you know, it's neat. It's that kind of culture, and the older guys and the pro guys and the guys that's been in it really believe in it. And then the recruits, it's cool to be on it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a pain in the ass, and they want to be a part of it. And then your guys that start, you know, are going to be your NFL guys. I mean, they're pissed off, like I said a while ago, when you try to take them off. Okay? Now, I think the one thing we do a great job of, and I don't care what level you got, I think this can be done. You got to evaluate and spend a lot of time filming everything you do and evaluate. think we do a great job of that. And, you know, during camp, I'm a defensive coach too. I take a lot of pride in that. I mean, I coach the outside linebackers in our 3-4, and I got the special teams. I was talking to Ivacek. I saw him walk. Where's Ivacek? Ivacek, and he does the same thing. He coaches the D9. He coaches all of them. There's a lot of guys out there doing that. I never miss anything on defense, ever, to coach special teams. So when do I do it? You got to do it late. You got to do it early. And that's what I do. Okay? If we get done, I got an hour before practice, and I might go spend some time on it. Normally, I'm getting ready for the defensive meeting. I've already got the special teams ready. But, you know, you just got to make sure you're looking at, especially in the spring and in fall camp, evaluate and make sure those guys are in the right place. How can you make it better? How can you move them? Test them. I mean, you know, we don't scrimmage enough with special teams. We're trying to get guys healthy. But I think, you know, and I saw this spring, and it really made me think, and I told them this. So let me tell you something, guys. I ain't trying to bullshit you or blow smoke up your ass, okay? But I learned from you guys. And I was at Westlake in Austin, and I was watching those guys scrimmage. I was there 2 Thursdays, and I saw them do something that made me think about some of the stuff we're doing. They would kick the ball off. Coach Dodge had, you know, kick off, first kickoff return, and where that ball was spotted was where the offense had to start. And he wanted the offense to have to feel that and to know there was a concept. Hey, well, that's not working at kickoff. So this shit counts in the scrimmage. So if they tackle him at the 10, that's where it started. If the ball came out, shit the defense, they had to defend the next series from where that ball came out. So I thought that was pretty good, and I saw a bunch of kids making plays on it. So anyway, that made me think. That's a great point. Okay? And hey, and have fun with it. I try to have a lot of fun with it. Look, we all know there's a fine line. But, you know, it doesn't, I mean, it's a long-ass season. Even you guys, I mean, summer, what consists summer nowadays? You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, I've been gone since June the 1st. I'm going, and I'm here, which I'm having a blast. I'm flying back tonight. And hell, I meet with my players. I mean, there ain't no summer for none of us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we remember when we used to have, you'd go out and hell, you'd come back, you know, the 1st of June or after the 4th of July, and you actually had shit. We all working our ass off, which is a great thing. But man, shit, you know, you better find ways to make it fun, because at some point, this shit, the fun runs out, right? I mean, damn football's hard. It's a damn job. So I've tried to have a lot of common sense and be creative, how to make it fun. And we have a good time. So now, look, there's a time where it ain't the time to laugh and giggle. Y'all all know that. But we have a good time. We have fun. And I think they enjoy it. And sometimes it's me acting like I'm 24 years old again, just out there having fun, screaming, yelling, and getting it on with them. You know what I'm saying? And they love that. They love that shit. Okay? All right. So, you know, and who we are, this is the last thing I go over with them on Saturdays. Who we are, we have one way to be perfect, to do hard things better, and with the tip of the spear. And, you know, I always say, we don't have a series. We don't get a chance to go out there and punt the damn ball and regroup, and a coordinator eat a cookie in the damn press box, drink a Coke, and figure it out. You got one damn play to go out there and make it happen. Okay? And we're judged off that one play, and our team has to reap the benefits of that as well. Okay? I mean, so if we go out there and return the bitch 80 yards, I mean, god dang, we're in a tough-ass spot. Okay? You can't punt and figure it out. It don't work that way. So I really sell that. And when we do hard things better, I tell them, hey, it's hard. I say, shit, it's hard on me. I said, shit, I stayed here till midnight last night, or 1 o'clock in the morning. Shit, and we got done with defense at 9:30. My ass stayed here till 1. Damn right it's hard. But man, it helps us win. So, and then, because you know, we work our ass off. We grind and we work. And so anyway, and then the tip of the spear. I tell them, I mean, hell, if you're on the kickoff team with a kickoff return, you're a goddamn starter of the SEC. You tell every son bitch you know, excuse my French, you tell everybody you know, you tell them you're a damn starter of the SEC. Because the offense or defense ain't going out there first. That kickoff or kickoff return will start this game. So anyway, so I always talk about that being the tip of the spear. All right? Okay? And this is really important stuff. And we again, this is the last thing we talk about. We call it the wild tiger must. And you come out, Coach Miles gave us a little corner where we put, hey young man, how are you? That was me in about 74 right there. I had that kind of hair too. What he has to look forward to. See that? Yeah.
Poor guy don't stand a chance.
But anyway, we got a little corner. We got neat goal boards. I got this up. And what I love is well, those kids, they sit there, they look at all that stuff. We make it a big deal. We post it. We have the Wild Tiger Club, and it's important. All right? And look, and at the banquet, we still have an old-timey banquet, and we give them, I'll make sure them plaques are nice and big, you know, and it's special. And I'll look at the club with the commitment. But step off the Wild Tiger stroke game for half, control field position, put our offense defense in position to propel. Let's control momentum, the winning edge, there's no way out. Put points on the scoreboard. And this is the one I always talk to them about. And I tell them this once a year. I tell them, I say, guys, look, I don't want my name in Tiger Stadium. That is not my goal. Okay? But my goal is, in my career, when your ass leaves here, you look back and say, that ball-headed dude made a difference. He made a difference. And look, I'm passionate about this. We can make on special teams such a difference on our team. And you know what? It's contagious throughout the whole team. How you work, how you practice, how you meet. And you know what? This is what I'm proud of. I'm the only other guy, other than Coach Miles, that gets to look our whole team in the eye and talk to them every single day. And if I don't understand that that's goddamn important, it's a priority, and I'm privileged, and I got to take, I can make a difference. And that's all I ever want. And I want them to understand that, because sometimes, guess what? You know, they got to understand this is cool. It's a big-ass deal. Just make a difference. You ain't got to have your name in the statement. And I tell them all the time, they come to me, you know, with their lip out, and say, God damn, I got you, man. I said, damn, Coach Miles makes $5 million. I've been coaching 30 years. Come look at my paycheck compared to him and tell me if the shit's fair. I'm with you, but guess what? This shit ain't fair. Okay, it ain't. Is that fair? He makes $5 million, I make what I make? Shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I try to give them. They come in all that lip out. I got some lip out shit too. I give them back. So anyway, I talked about the goals weekly, conference, and national as well. And then, you know, we have our goals, our general. And guys, I'm going to go fast through this because I've really got some good football. I don't want time to get away from them. But I got the goals, okay? And what I try to do is break them down by phase so they can see it. When they look at the board, they can see it. I can talk about it, where we had success, where we didn't, okay? I don't like just the overall general rules. I like to break it down. So again, if you want all this, I'll send it to you. You can have a copy of it, okay? All right? And so as you can see, we just got it all broken down by phase. Even field goal and field goal block. All right? Okay, now, we do something that's really neat. We have a Wild Tiger Club. You know, I was in a high school head coach then in Houston today, and he played for us when I was at SFA at American Wells, and he still has his plaque. It's in his office. And, you know, we've given nice plaques. I think it's very important to the guys over the years. And, you know, it really means a lot to me. I walk into high school and somebody says, hey, still got my wild whatever plaque. Because we've been around with it for a long time. But basically, what we do is we have a point system, okay? We give all these different awards, okay, here as you see. And we have the Wild Tiger Club, and it's a point system. And again, I'm not going to go through everything, but they got a way to get points for things for the team individually. And then we also got takeaways. Again, I'll send you all this. If we could, you know, take you on to go through everything, but I want you to see it. And then at the end of it, we got the takeaway, so they can lose points as well. But at the end of it, they get so many points, they make the club, and then the guy who has the most, he's our champion, so he gets the champion plaque. And then they will argue, they will come I mean, hey, I made that tackle, hey, I did this, hey, I did that. And you know what? If they can come in and show me it's half-assed coach, I give them benefit of the doubt. But it is important to them. And they, man, on Monday, they're up there all looking at that board and seeing the points, and we had it all updated. It's a big deal. So anyway, just to share that with you, I give that to you if you want it. Okay? Hey, we utilize a bunch of staff members. We break up the coach. And again, I'm not going to go through all this, but everybody's assigned. It's part of what we do in spring and in the summer. The last week before we start camp, we'll go through it all. And but everybody's working. You can see that. Everybody's working. And our coaches do a great job. It's important to them. But every phase, as you can see, it's assigned out. Okay? Every position is assigned out. And what we do in the meeting, I think is very critical. In the meeting, when I go to words, I'll get up there. The first thing I do, they got to know the depth chart. Post that, they got to know it. And what I do, I highlight any names in yellow. If their names if it's yellow, shit, there's been a change. They got to figure it out and know it. I put that on them because I ain't got time to go through a depth chart with them. But the thing I get to address them first. I try to give them the layout of the plan on a PowerPoint, and then I break it. Well, if punt team's up, then they know exactly where to break, and their position coach sits with them, and he coaches them during the meeting. Okay, so I just think it's just one other way that we're not breaking the meeting. I'm coaching it all, and we just say they got a position coach. No, they got a position coach, and we make that very important. I think it's very important to do that. Okay, but you can just see how we do that. Everybody knows who they got. Everybody's coaching their ass off. It's really good stuff. Okay? All right. Just some organizational things I think is important. Make sure if you're not doing it, that you have an organizational meeting before the spring and before the fall. Just get everybody on the same page, okay? And then, just work off everybody's expertise. And they're, all through the year, other guys help me. They come to me, they have great ideas, and it makes us better. It makes us really working on all that. A lot of good football coaches out there. When you get them all involved, it's great. But we got to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's not worthy of listening. But if it's a good idea, man, it makes us all better. Okay? With the breakdowns, we break it down, put it in the computer. So on Sunday, when I start studying, I can sort it however I want to sort it. Okay? If you're not doing that, do that, and any help I can do with the terminology on that, I will. Okay? To help you. Okay? We do a great job at charting all the expenses, our opponents, ourselves. We post this, we script everything we do, and again, you got to make sure you script it. I think it's really important to script it. I really do. So you make sure you hit it. I think some people are gifted. They can go out there and just call it from the hip and do it. I have to think it out. I told you, man, sitting there and taking notes, I'm not, that ain't one of my strong points, okay? But once I put it on paper and I think it out, man, I'm ready to go fight the world then. But anyway, we script it. We do a really good job. I tell you what else it does when you script it. A lot of times I'll say, man, I can't remember how, I'll pull up Florida Tuesday. I'll print that script and say, damn, that's how it was. And I got all that shit right there for me. So it's a tool, it's research, it's in that library for you. Okay? I'm still an old-timey stat report guy, and we put it on their iPads, but man, I like a hard copy. I just like them seeing it so they can go to it. But we give them a great stat report, trying to get all the unusual situations and make sure we get those work, because they will get you beat. You've got to find time to get those unusual situations worked. I'll tell you what, it's not special teams that got us beat when I was a head coach. We're playing the bottom, and we were fixing to go up. I mean, we were kicking their ass now. And I was at Northwestern State, and we get right for the half, and we got the ball at the 1 inch line. And we're fixing to score to go up 17-7. All right? And call the offense over there and say, hey, look, we're going to sneak the ball every time. We got 4 downs. We're going to control this game. And I said, if we can't get the ball in the end zone, I'll take the flag. Period. Well, man, and this is, I learned a lesson on this. Quarterback gets the ball, and that pile moves about 7 yards deep in the end zone. touchdown, right? Well, we never went down with the ball. Well, their guy comes out, runs it down 80-yard. They take a shot, hit it. So we go in down 14-10. I think we got beat. I can't remember, 42-36. I mean, we barely lost that game. It would have been a big, big win for us. Anyway, long story short, when the ump came over, the whitehead, I asked him, I said, well, everybody knows that was a touchdown. He said, yeah, coach, but I can't mark it till he's got to go down. And, that's something y'all ever thought about working that? I hadn't. I never even remember where we were working. But, so in other words, so from that point on, the rest of the season, I worked, a sneak and going down and making it a touchdown because they can't make it a touchdown. He said, yeah, I know the kid was across the line, but I can't see the ball. So you got to go down, they come up, got to find the ball. But I learned the lesson. But the kicking game, there's so many of those that can sneak up on you. You know what I'm saying? All those little situations, if you don't work, can find you. All right, real quick. I try to have this installation checklist. Do we all get to all that? No, but it has all the situations, the alignments, the techniques, the blocks, all that. Okay? I'll go back. Guys, when we try to do philosophy, we try to be balanced. We don't always make it. But we try to be as balanced as we can, so they have to have the respect every week, and whether you're coming or returning. All right. Real quickly, so all this makes sense. We number our guys 1 through 10 in our front return. We call that joy. We try to give every team a name. So we go 1 through 10. It's always left to right, just like they read. Okay. Now I'm going to go quickly through the block principles. It's the first thing we teach, how we teach it, how we address it, how we drill it, and then I'll go into the return drills, the hold-up drills. Stance, got to be in a great stance, and I tell them all this. We want to hug the line of scrimmage as much as we can. I teach them where to put their hand, nose behind your hand, getting a good stance, and we really work that. Because, I always tell them this. I've never seen a guy in a track meet run a 100-yard dash and didn't do a great job coming out of blocks. And that's what you're trying to do. Come out of the blocks, put a good stance, vertically and horizontally. Get all that line of scrimmage they can. And we worked everything with the ball. We're pulling it. I mean, eyes and a lot of those guys are not used to seeing that, so you got to work. All right? Okay, and then of course the ball get off. I've talked to them about getting up the field vertically. I say, look, you want to come off like little catchy phrases that they can remember. Come off like an airplane, not a helicopter. Come off flat, but great. And we really spent a lot of time working on our get-offs, okay? And then dip, rip, and get skinny. Dip, rip, rub, and get skinny. I used to always say, do it on the third step. And I heard that D-line coach saying that this morning too, but I got away from that. And I said, you want to get vertical till you get on his heels. And then when you get on his heels, now we want to dip, rip, and rub and get to the block point. I'll show you the drills of that here in a few minutes. But I think that's a really important coaching point. Get vertical, get on his heels, and dip, rip, and rub to the. And again, it's a corner. Is it a zone protection? Is it man protection? Are they kick sliding? Is it a shield, which is really man? What are you getting? And we have to work, because right now, we went a few years there, we weren't seeing any old-timey pro punt teams anymore. The spread punt, we weren't seeing it. It's coming back around. We'll see it 3 or 4 times, so we try to get that work in camp and get prepared to do it, because it is a little different technique. All right? And then always know the block point landmark. I know you guys do that, but I make that very important when we stress it, when we're talking, and it's very critical. Okay? And one of the things I always tell them, when you block and kick, you want to stay on your feet. I always say, man, if a guy was pulling you through on a rope, just imagine that. He's pulling you through on a rope, and then your momentum is, you can't stop. That's the momentum you want in blocking kicks. Don't want to lay out. Don't want to lay out. Want to run through it. We practice that. Okay? And of course, the reactions to blocks, you guys understand that. Okay, now, real quick, I'm going to go through the hold-up techniques and I'll get to the field. All right? The thing that I always tell about the hold-up techniques, we want it to look just like the rush. I mean, we always talk about on our punt team, read intentions. Well, we want the intentions to look like they're coming so they don't know. Okay? So, stance, sell the rush. I'll do the same. Ball, keep ball, get off, sell the rush. Now, we break it down, our hold-up techniques, into techniques that we work, that are whole part, whole techniques, just like we do offense and defense. So one of the things I tell them is we're going to pop and drive. So when I first come off, the stance, the ball keeper is the same. And I'm coming off, I'm vertical. And then I sit up, getting on his heels and rubbing to the block point. I'm going to get right in his breastplate. Say, sit for me if you don't mind. And I'm going to pop and drive him. Bam, my hands are in there, I'm driving him back. Okay? So if it's a spread punt, a pro punt, then I'm going to drive him back. Well, look, he's kick sliding. I mean, he's getting his depth. And when I get into him, at some point, what's he going to do? He's going to set. He's going to set on me. He's going to try to release. So here's what I tell him. You're going to pop and drive him until you feel him set. Once you feel him set, it's a giant lift. You've got to get your head out and get your weight on a vertical plane. So as soon as I'm driving him, and we work our ass off a bit, and I feel him set, man, I'm right there. I'm right there. And now, then, the next thing is a basketball shuffle. Shuffling my feet, shuffling my feet. Okay? So, stance, ball, keep ball, get off, pump and drive. Okay? Right through the middle of the neck. And then it's the jack lift. Okay? I tell them it's power clean mechanics. Now I'm there. And then here I go. Then it's the basketball shuffle. It's the basketball shuffle with my feet. And I say, as long as you can stay on top of him, basketball shuffle your ass off. Here, 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 okay? And then you want to stay on top as long as you can. Then when he gets on your upfield shoulder, you want to go to a trail position. I say, guys, we're playing low hold cover 2. I mean, we're low hip, we're checking with a hand, and we're running with it, okay? So we want to stay low hip as we're going down the field, okay? Then the next thing that we talk about is we're keying that hip, we're hand checking. Because here's the deal, at some point, he's gonna chop and drop. Okay, he's gonna come to balance somewhere. We call that chopping. I say when he chops and drops, we sit and fit. Okay? So he's coming in the field, you're checking him, and what he's gonna chop and drop, and then we want to sit and fit him. And once we sit and fit him, we're right back into our jack lift basketball shot. Same technique. Okay? Thank you, Jay. So, very important. Now, here's the deal for the hand check. A lot of times, they will chop and drop a long ways from the ball because they feel your pressure. They feel your pressure. And I think it's really important to make sure the kids understand it. It's not always, scripted as 4 or 5 yards from the ball. A lot of times, they're going to do it way out. So really important to know that, make sure they understand it. Now, once they chop and drop, we sit fit, at some point, he's going to retrace. And I tell them, once we retrace, if you're in a trail position, you're low hip. Once he chops and drops and you sit and fit, and he works back up the field, now you want to be high hip. Because if he beats you, you want him to beat you underneath. And when you're going down the field, if he beats you, you want him to beat you over the top. So the leverage changes. I think that's very critical to coach that, okay? So that's the retrace. So as you look at the progression of the hold-up principle, it stands, ball, keep ball, get on, pop it, drive, jack lift, basketball shuffle, trail, sit and fit. And I always say widen the hole, retrace, and then we have our oh shit techniques when we're beat that I'll cover with you in a minute. And and they always say, well, coach, when do we use oh shit technique? And see, anytime you say oh shit, then you got to apply oh shit technique. And I'll show you all that here in a minute. Well, I got them all on film here for you. Okay. And then just all the different drills, I got them all broke down. But, and look, I got this because I want y'all to see it. I'm not going to cover it with you because I want to really make sure I get this return stuff with you today. But I got all the drills broken down that we do. And we work our ass off with our returners. Now, The punt returns, the kicker returns, we drills, put them in situations, make them have to work. I mean, just doing all kind of different things. I got all this written up, drawn up here, and different type of things. One of the most important is a center field drill, where I get them off, and I kick the ball deep, and they just have to become center field. Open up, run, get their hips on the ball, and catch it, and all that good stuff. But I got all that stuff here. If you, when I send you this stuff, you guys don't lose it, you'll have it. But find ways to work them. Find ways to put them in tough situations. Okay? Now, this is the start of our what we call our block form. This is our block technique. Okay? Now, unlike a lot of people, we start them at the ball. Okay? Start them at the ball. And we talk about forming the web with our hands, taking it off his foot, keeping our hands low. If you watch most of them, just take them out to the little block and kick. Most of them will come with their hands high. They'll come just like that. You want to shoot those hands low, form the web, see it off, and run through. And again, the block point will be 10 yards here. So we'll start right at the ball, a yard away, and just work taking it off. This will be like day one. Okay? Then the next thing, we'll back them up and go from 5 yards. Now, we got the left side on one side and the right side on the other. And just soft kicking, just practice taking it off. All right? Then we'll back them up and we'll go from 10 yards. Okay, just so they get a feel for it. This will be like day one stuff. So 1 yard, 5 yards, 10 yards. Okay? Then we'll practice split the shield. Okay? Teach them how to steer the shield. Alright? Get those pads low, you turn, you credit card thin, and split it. Now, here's a couple things. I change this up weekly, according to what kind of formations, how to get the shield and all this. But there's times, usually as a rule, if we split the shield, okay? If we split the shield, we will not cross the punt. If we skinny the shield, we'll cross the punt, okay? As a general rule, if you're the A-gap rusher to the block foot, we don't cross the punter, everybody else does, okay? But you got to be careful because there's so many formations and depth issues. You just got to look at that week to week, and I tweak it. Okay, but it's teaching them here how to split a shield. Okay, again, I showed you this one so you can see both sides of it. Okay, then we'll work skinning the shield. Okay, skinning the shield. So now all we're doing here, that's just a dip, rip, and run technique that we work on the line of scrimmage. Same thing, it's just on the shield. Okay, so skinning the shield. You can see us working on both sides. You can find pressure on pressure. Okay, now, this would be a dip, rip, and rub technique on a zone protection team. Okay, so now I'm working the gunner coming off of number 1, a wide guy, for pro punt. This will be working off a tackle. We just rep this, and we'll come back weekly and work it, and they get better and better and better at it. Okay? Now, here's the difference. If you're facing a man protection team, you're probably not going to attack them from the call side. That's how they say it, because they're going to have leverage on them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to be running into somebody that's getting your front side. Most of the blocks we try to get are coming from the back side. Okay, and however we can get that, whether we overload them, however we do it, or to the field or to the boundary, however we know where their protection is going to be. But now it's different. We become a little flatter because that block's going down. They're not sitting back and getting any depth. It's all on the line of scrimmage. So I want them to understand in camp, hey, the difference in man and zone protection, how to attack it in your technique. So we work both of them. Okay? And this is a good example of the A-gap rusher to the blocked foot not crossing the puddle. Okay? So again, I've showed you zone and man. Zone and man. It's different. Okay? Now, I'm going to get to the hold-up techniques. Here we are. Now, it's zone protection. It's pro punt. All right? Here he goes. Get into him. Okay, now, this is a pop and drive. With the stance, right here, I like to see him be more square, straight up the field. Okay? It's a pop and drive. He's in the breastplate, drive him back. Now, you can see when he sits, we got a jack lift, get our head out, get a little vertical plane, stay on top of it as long as we can until we get on that hip. And now we're going to the hand. And now we're low hip. Okay? So we just worked all those techniques right there. Maybe stance, ball keep, ball get off, pop and drive, jack lift, the basketball shuffle, stay on top till you get the trail position. And we work it, work it, work it. I tell you one thing we do on Mondays during the season is all drill work. Okay? We don't do anything schematically. It's all drill work. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because I get time, I'll try to work. It might be in the walkthrough, but we try to reach. We will drill every phase, endo drills every week, even on game week. Okay? Because it's like anything else. If you go out there, you just don't play man coverage, and you're never working the techniques in the one-on-one and getting back to basics. I mean, you lose it. You lose your edge. You lose your technique. These are really good shots of it here. Okay? Okay? Now, here's the difference. If you're doing it versus a shield team, a man team, and they're blocking along the line of scrimmage, here's what I tell them. The pop and drive's out. Okay? Because they're not giving any ground. So what we say here, we want to have be physical with it. We want to have some authority. But we're basically cutting the pop and drive part out and getting right into our jack lift. Does that make sense? Because when they're kick sliding on you, you can drive his ass back. When they're sitting on you on the line of scrimmage, and you'll see it 100 times, if you come off too aggressive, he's just going to swing you, throw you, and they're going to be gone. Okay? They're going to be gone. So we try to jack lift a lot quicker. See, he goes right into his jack lift. But they got to know that sounds subtle. But if they don't understand that they're trying to pop and drive a man protection team, you're not going to hold anybody up. And the whole key, as y'all know, is to stay on top of them as long as you can. So right now, it's just like all you guys that coach DB. I guarantee you, if I go to your practice, you know I'm going to hear you tell you DBs in press coverage, win with your feet. That's what I say all through this drill. Win with your feet. Get your head out. Wait on the vertical plane. Jump lift, jump lift, jump lift, jump lift. Does that make sense? Everybody got that? Does that make sense? And that's subtle, I think it's really important to show that. That's a short middle linebacker right there. He could have came out as a junior. Okay? Now this is the second part. So right now, we've coached shit-out stance, ball keep, ball get off, pop and drive, first man in zone, jump lift, first man in zone, okay? Basketball shuffle, trail. Now we're going to go to the end of the drill, okay? And I'll call their number out. And all we're doing right now is we're working the trail position. They chop and drop, we sit and fit. Now you're right back to your basketball shuffle. And we'll rep it, rep it, rep it, rep it. And again, right now he wants to be low hip. But once they chop and drop and he sits and fits and that ball works back, he wants to work the high hip. I think that's a very critical coaching point there. Okay? So this is the sit and fit, drill it, and our term is chop and drop, we sit and fit. Okay? Now, this is a little competition drill we'll do. Well, I'll put a bag back there, and we'll start, and we'll just go live and make them really have to fight their ass off. It might not be but we're just making them have to compete. That's a pretty realistic look right there. See how he gets his weight out over his toes, can't do that. So we'll work shit, just roll it, we got it, we got 3 or 4 or 5, and we'll go the other side as well. And just putting it all together right here, have them have a little competition, have some fun. Okay, now those shit techniques, 2 of them we teach. The first one's an arm bar, okay? And right now, we're in a position, we're behind. We can't get there. If he chops and drops, we can't sit and fit. So what we try to do is, I say, if you're in position to get that fist and that far back, then you want an arm bar, okay? So right now, I would throw that, because you don't want to clip it. Throw that hand in there, pull my hips through, then I'm right back to my giant lift position. We call that arm bar. And you can see us working right here. See them throw it in there. And then they're right back in position to be giant lift, to be ready for the reach raise, to stay on top of it, to work the high hip. Okay, arm bar technique. Okay, the next one we teach is straight paint. Okay, here's what I said. I said, if you're not in position to arm bar, straight paint. And what we want to do is go through, just like if I was scraping paint here on Jay. I'm going to run through. I can't get there. Jay's this way. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to give my back, but I'm going to be pretty aggressive with it. But this is what the official's going to see. Throw my hands up, but I'm going to scrape paint. I don't want to just, it's pretty physical. Rubbing, scrape paint, and get my hands up high, okay? And they'll never call it, okay? I've never had that call. So what we do, we pre-fill just a little deeper. I can't on board, I got to scrape paint. That's the old shit technique. Okay, now, just to be basic, the 3 returns we teach, okay? First was locking. Now, when I tell these other guys are in hold-up mode, okay? The guys that are in hold-up mode, all they're doing is it's just hold-up technique, okay? It's pop and drive technique. If it's a man team, we're right there a giant lift, okay? These other guys are just contained rushers. I can add a call, I can go rocket. If I go bazooka, I add 5 and 6 to it. And all these guys are ensuring the punt. There's so many more fake opportunities out of the shield than you ever get out of the old popo. Okay? So we want to make sure we're fake conscious. And these guys are our wall setters. Okay? I tell them they want to get the cylinder. The lead guy, however they unfold, the lead guy gets in the cylinder, which is between the numbers of the hash, then he adjusts to the ball, and basically we got hold up, a rocket return with 3 lead blockers, okay? And then all I tell them is this, in rocket, to the right side would be opposite leverage, and to the left side, it would just be middle return inside leverage. Okay? So once we get down the field in a trail position, we want to slip our leverage to the rocket side, which is a right return. Okay? Okay? This was a game we were playing early at Syracuse. We were in a damn dogfight. We needed some momentum. We needed a spark. Okay? I mean, they were playing our ass off. We were in a damn dogfight up there now. 11 o'clock game, and we're. Here's a real good example. Here's a good job on the line of scrimmage with a giant lift. These guys are in great shape. Battling his ass off right here now. Both of these guys. Okay? See him sitting fit. We find a crease, and here we go. Now here's what I tell them on rocket. Rocket ain't always a right return. We're just setting a 3-man wall. I mean, the seam could be right down the middle, okay? But we got the 3-man wall if we need it. But this is a great job of hitting it, and then they never recovered after this. A lot of good technique work right here. This is a great job here too. And I tell them this, if you lose your guy, I tell them, you lose your guy, I call it peel and deal. Turn up the field, you peel and you go deal on somebody's ass, and it doesn't have to be aggressive, okay? But here's a great job of that right here. I mean, it wasn't anything great about that, but the guy didn't make the tackle. You know what I'm saying? He got just enough on him. He found somebody to get in front of, and it got us in the end zone. I'm going to show you this. We've got a real good example. There's a, so here's a straight paint. Well, I'm going to show you this right here. Straight paint, right here. Okay, laser. Laser's just, it's the same exact teaching as rocket. Except now, the left side, that once they get in a drill position, they're going to slip the laser leverage, okay? And then the back side is just middle return. They're inside leverage on that side, okay? Same principles with the wall. We're going to find the cylinder. However we unload it, we'll get the cylinder. We'll have a 3-man wall to the left side. Now, I want to make a point with this one. The returner in this game, he's got to get his ass to the call side. I always tell you, man, this is a game he did. It probably would have been a touchdown. I want to make a point of that. But a real good job on the line of scrimmage with our technique. And this is a situation here. We should have went ahead and straight paint on this one right here. I mean, you're waiting. We're that far behind, straight paint on it. Okay? It's laser, see? And if we just get anything on this guy, I mean, this is a touchdown. Because we still almost got there. And again, you think those oh shit techniques, I think they're as important as anything we do. Here's what I tell them. I say, guys, I ain't going to pose for you. When we work it in practice, sometimes it's a pose. That's what we work, because if you're in an oh shit mode, you're behind. You can't just say, hey, screw it. I mean, he might not make a tackle. Go straight paint, get in his way. Just like that peel and deal. It's not always going to be scripted like it is in the movies where you get on him and you just drive him. If you can just peel and deal and get in the way, it could be the difference in a touchdown or a 10-yard gain or a no-yard gain.
Coach, numbers 2, 6, and 9, they're manned up on the shield.
So,
they're manned up on the shield.
you know what? That's a good question. We changed that up, Coach. Some weeks we do, some weeks we don't. Okay? And if it's a true rocket laser, they are not. But some weeks we do. I'll make a call that we tag that and we do that and we give up the rocket laser. Does that make sense? But I'll still call it rocket laser because I want that leverage to that side. But we won't set the wall. We'll man those guys up. Yes, sir. It's a good question. Okay? And here's a bazooka. And all bazooka is, we're adding the inside guys to the technique with everybody else. And I might add another guy. It's kind of a game plan. You know what I'm saying? So we might add 87. We got different ways to do bazookas. A game plan weekly. But here's what I want. I want that shield when they line up to know we're going to smack their ass in the mouth. Because let me tell you something. I know this for a fact. When we bring our guys in, we show them a lot of different shit they're going to be doing. We do not show them the shield on punt. We don't say, hey guys, look, here's what you get to do when you get here. We can't wait. You get to be in this shield. There's going to be 290-pound people running right down to the road. We don't talk about that. Everybody got me? That's the fun. The fun one's out of it. So I want to make a bazooka call because it's safe at least once a game just to go hit them in the mouth. Just to test them. Just to say, hey, look, shit's on. You know what I'm saying? So because I know this. When I look at tape and they don't ever challenge our shield, I go, on Sunday. It scared the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this was a bazooka call. We challenge them, we kick it. Now, in this one, we game plan it. The guys I sent, I'll game plan bazooka. Sometimes we peel off in the middle. This game, we want to peel off back to the field. But every way it was, so the field's right. Here we come, here we come. There's the wall. Good blocks. Got the posse leading it. That's beautiful right there. Beautiful. And then they all go celebrate with each other, what I was proud of. They're proud of the teammate. That's big time stuff. But this is our starting nickel this year right here. Okay, and we got missile, and this will just be no return. Now we peel back off inside. All these guys are now inside out leverage in their trail position. So rocket laser, the hold up guys in the field are getting laser leverage to that side. Middle or laser to the left side. Missile, they all stay inside out. Okay, and we just peel these guys back off inside. Real good job with our technique here. Good job holding them up. I got some good chop and drop, sit and fit techniques. And again, it's not always perfect, but you can just see us bodies on bodies down here. Guys do a great job right here. Here's a great one right here. Here's a guy sitting early down the field. Good fit up. I mean, we're on people. We're on people. If we just stay with this one, a little bit longer right here, this might have been a score. If we just could have taken care of that guy, it'd been another score. And I tell you what, we work a lot of ball security too. We knocked on wood. We've been very fortunate on that. Now, this is one from 2005 I want to show. This is just great effort. I keep this one. It was against spread punt. It's a missile return. But this is a really good job with the pop and drive here. He went on the line of scrimmage. Great trail position. This was a tight game. This is in the end of the third quarter. I want to show you something that I thought was really pretty special. Watch this guy right here. Watch this guy right here the whole way. And you see a lot of great technique, but watch him the whole way. See, now watch how quickly this guy chops him up. See him? Look, watch him fit him up. That's pretty cool. Now watch down here. There's some really good sit and fit techniques. You can see them. Right here, watch this one. See, hell of a job right there. See, chops and drops, we sit and fit it, got bodies on body, big return. Right? You know, we took the lead and they couldn't recover. Okay, and then look, I will go fast through this, but just some of the different things we've done where we double against the pro punt. And, you know, again, you got to make sure we do a great job of, you know, changing it up so you're not always stuck in this, but this has been a big call for us. We've got a lot of luck with. We'll pull them out. Sometimes we just set them and hold them for the fake, and then sometimes we drop them. Again, we're not saying, we're seeing about 2 or 3 times a year. Okay. Guys, before I go on, any question on that on the return game? Anything on any questions y'all got before? I'm going to go into our kickoff return stuff real quickly, if that's okay. But before I go, I'd just like to give you, if you got any questions on any of the pump block stuff, any of the hold up stuff, anything there that y'all might have before we move on.
When they get on the upfield show, they're going out the field, you're trying to get in the pop, position, shoot.
Well, as long as they're on the line of scrimmage, I tell them as long as we can, Jake's question, everybody here's question, you know, when are we in the trail position? As long as we can stay on top of them. We don't want, we want to stay on top. Just like you teach a DB in press coverage. As long as I can stay on top and have my hands in your breastplate, they're never going to call it. But as soon as you get on my upfield shoulder, then I get in a trail position. And if I'm headed down the field, then I'm checking, I'm low hip. Then as soon as you chop and drop, and I sit in fifth. Now, as the ball retraces and you start running, now I want to work the high hip. Because now, right now, if you beat me, I want you to beat me over the top. As we're coming back up the field, we retrace. If you beat me, I want you to beat me underneath. Because if you make the tackle, you'll make it beat me over the top, not underneath.
You're talking higher.
Yeah. Exactly. In the direction we're going. Yeah. Good question, though. That make sense? Yeah. Okay. Wow. Any other questions on the pump return stuff? Anybody? And guys, look, all this stuff I'll send you, okay? Whatever you need.
What about your adjustment? Do you have any alignment for the guys?
Well, that's a good question, Jay. Here's what we do. We carry what we call a Georgia check, okay? And I give them the Georgia rules every week. And I tell them if it smells like shit, it's probably shit. If you want to check Georgia, check it, okay? But here's the rule. Like if we're playing a true three-man shield team, okay? I'll say, and we'll study the depth of the shield. In other words, if that shield's normally at 7.5, and all of a sudden they're at 5, check Georgia. Okay? We're just going to a hold up, all rushes are off. We're back into a true blue, hold up, assignment deal. We're going to play it safe. We're basically in the safe, they're on the line of scrimmage. If they go to a two-man shield, they motion somebody out, we check Georgia. Okay? We check Georgia and we're going to play it safe. Okay? If we get those kicks. Something tells us that. Something.
And what if it just come out and that's 3-by-1 or something?
We would Georgia check. Because it's just, yeah. Now, here's the deal. If I give them the ability to be things unusual, that's what I always say. I said, hey, this week the Georgia rules, if there's a two-man shield, there's not 3 in the shield, or it's unusual formation, go Georgia. And let's figure out, I'd rather be safe and leave a block on and then figure out if something's up. So we'll play it safe. There was a team that did that to us a couple of years ago. It was a young, smart-ass GA of mine who got a full-time job, Matt Powledge. He was at San Houston State. Y'all might know him. So he came in there and he knew the Georgia rules. So he got real cute with me. We checked Georgia the first time and I laughed and giggled. I thought it was funny, you know. But so once I saw that they were going to come back to a normal formation, and I said, hey guys, great job checking Georgia. We don't need the Georgia check no more unless they break the sheet. He was giving me formation and laughed and giggled and thought it was funny. Yeah, it sure wasn't too funny to me. I was checking Georgia before they were, you know. But we also had the same thing when I left Kentucky. Went back to, y'all get a kick out of this. I leave Kentucky and go back to LSU. I'm special teams safeties guy in Kentucky. Well, they came in, and I was real close on those guys. So we line up, and we have what we call a bomb check. If you line up in an onside kick, we check bomb, we shift to defending, even if it's regular kickoff personnel, because you can get something crazy. Well, they gave us a bomb shift. Well, you have to know Les. Les loves it. He's on the headphones saying, Pete, they're messing with us. Look at them. They got us checked bomb. Les is laughing and giggling about it, you know. Of course, I'm not, because I don't know what they're fixing to do. Well, the kids bomb checked. We got shifted. We got 2 returners back. Everybody moved up, defending the onside kick, and they're not going to kick it. Well, they meant to kick it in the hole, but they kicked a line drive right to our best returners. And he went 60. I mean, they called him, but man, we had the ball past the 50. Well, that shit wasn't so funny then, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but some of those guys that work with you, when they know all your fake rules and all, you got to watch them. But anyway, so any other questions on that? Any other questions? You know, I kind of tweak it week to week, and sometimes I'll just go to visceral return, and sometimes I don't send you. I just set them all, we play side. It's kind of game plan. As a rule, we can go to bazooka, and I would usually it's a missile return as a rule. And normally it's if we had a block or something like that, which we carry. We carry game plan blocks every week. So I don't want to have a block on, and then it's a Georgia check. You know, we will play the same. Okay. Anybody else?
You only do block week versus the day.
Well, it's part of what they because we're seeing so many formations now, 1-man shield, 2-man shield, people all over the place. And what we do against that, and these are great questions, guys. What we do against that, I have one guy that's the adjuster. Because normally what they've done when they're getting all these formations, what they've done is they got one guy in the shield, and there'll be a 3-man shield, and then they'll break him off, and you'll know his number, like it'll be 26 or whatever. So I have one of my guys, he'll be a guy that's pretty athletic. He's the slot adjuster. A lot of times they'll move that guy around, do different things with him. So we just check, hey, slot adjust. So if it's a 3-man shield, we play normal. If they come out a 2-man or 1-man shield, hey, slot adjust, slot adjust. Well, that week, a 2-man shield wouldn't be a Georgia check because that's what they do. We slot adjust it. And then whoever I'm assigned that week, he goes over and takes 26. They might have him, in a slot position. They might have him way out wide. They might motion him, but that guy's responsible. Now, the rule that week would be if it's a 1-man shield, then we'll Georgia check. But we wouldn't Georgia check a 2-man shield. Make sense? Okay? And then the blocks are all off that. Okay? With the blocks, we have our set rules. We game plan the blocks every week versus what we're seeing. Okay? So it's a new block every week. It's a new block every week, and we work it until we get it ready to run. Okay?
On that Georgia check, do you have anybody insuring that kick, Coach, or you just?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, usually for sure, 100%. And with our guys, as you saw them up there 2 and 9, they're always contained rushers. And according to what we're getting, normally I'll see at least 3 for the shield, at least those 2 guys. And the other ones, they might just penalize scrimmage and stare at it. Does that make sense? Yeah. But 2 and 9 would always contain rush. And really, they contain rush on everything we do. That doesn't change. Okay? Anybody else? Okay. Again, we got, and guys, I'm showing you this because I really believe if you don't have something like this, I would have you do it. Put it on paper. I'm better that way. Don't mean you are. But, I got all the returns, the techniques, the drills, broke it up, backline, double teams, special calls, communications. We got to make sure the unique calls are up, sky, hot, go, all that stuff. And here's what I do. That's my checklist. I look at it, I go through it. I try to look at it at least a couple of times a week just so it's in my mind, okay? And basically the philosophy, guys, here's what we are to make it easy for you. We're a sideline return, wherever it is, with a double team on the front and the back. We're a middle return, we're a counter off of it, okay? I'm going to show you all that right now, just to make it quick. Okay, guys, here's what we do. We basically break our techniques down. I'm going to go through all those with you. How's our time? We're in good shape on time, huh? 45? Good. And guys, look, I'm here for the duration. Hell, I don't have anything else to do. I'm going back late tonight to the barbecue. And I'll keep going with you. We got a damn full room. That fires me up. So basically, there's a couple of important things I want to tell you. I try to make sure they identify their guy. I can't tell you how many times, they'll line up and they want to know the damn number of the guy that's blocking. We give them all that shit. They got to be able to tell me who's your number, know your number. Don't just drop back there, la la land, let the damn guy run by you. Know his number, okay? And we got times we trade things off, but for the most part, if the ball's kicked, okay? If they switch before the ball's kicked, we'll switch it off and recount it. If the ball's kicked, we stay with our guy, okay? But just a couple of things. Everybody can sure get some surprise onside kicks, watch the ball off the tee. And I always talk about, as a basic concept, we want to stay straight in our line. We don't want to give them an indicator of where we're going with the ball, especially if they're a team that keeps the ball in the middle. We want to work straight back, then take our cut-off angles, okay? Then keep them squeezing with you. It's just like a 5 technique with a down block. He's going to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Same concept, okay? When we get to our landmark, we want to have hot feet, buzz our feet, and shuffle. Again, win with your feet. I'm going to show you a lot of drills we do to help us with our feet, our hands, keep our lateral vertical plane. It's just common football stuff. Keep shoulders squared, not getting the butt side. Because everything we do covering kick is either we're going to wipe your face or we're going to beat your butt side. And we stress that, we drill it. So we want to try to keep within butt side as long as we can. And look, sometimes that's clinic talk. And I got a great story. I shared this with a team, and they love it. They laugh their ass off at it. But I was, Tony Marciano is at, where's Tony? He's at me right there. He's with you. There you go. Tony was my special teams coach. He was a great coach, still is. I got a lot of respect for Tony. And he was the reason I played college football, because I was a shitty safety. And, but Tony was he was a great coach, and I mean, thank the world of him today. I can't say enough good about him. I love him. But we were playing, I think Arizona State. It was out there, one of those teams. And he was challenging me all week. He even told, can you block this? And I'm telling y'all, I looked the dude up. The dude, he was a big Samoan dude. I swear he was 6'6", 270, and he would look like a 4'40" to me. And I mean, Tony was in my ass all week. I think he convinced me I couldn't block the guy. But let me tell you something. All I know is that dude had destroyed everybody that had tried to block him. And I said, all right, I'm going to try. To myself. I'm trying to get my... So Tony had challenged me all week. Because he was my number. So, man, I'm thinking, man, maybe this dude will be hurt. I won't have to block him. So I get out there and I count. Oh, my God, here he comes. So I dropped back, man. I got set. I said, I'm gonna set a little wide. I'm gonna get me a running start this dude. And man, I called with everything I had. And all I can tell you, that dude took me right through the wedge with him. I mean, just destroyed me. So I come over to the sideline, and Tony Marciano, I mean, he grabbed me. He is chewing my ass out. And I said, hey, look, you go block that dude. I can't. I'm just telling you right now. And let me tell you something. He did that to me the whole game. I didn't have any chance. But anyway, but my point is, I was just outmaneuvered. I had to usually block pretty good in time, but I couldn't block that guy. But anyway, one thing, you can't be too aggressive, lunging, diving, vertical plane. That's a term I like to use a lot with them because it win with your feet. You can see that right here, okay? So anyway, just the base concept of it. But what we do, I'm going to go through now the techniques and how we break them down, because once we practice the crap out of these techniques. So if I game plan and tweak, and I tell him he's got a wall block, he knows what to do. I don't say you block this guy, you block that guy. Hey, you got a wall block, you got a cutoff block, you got a double team, and they know how to do that because they've all worked it, okay? So basically what a wall block is, the play's coming to you, okay? It's coming to you, and you want to work with a man over, and then at the 30-yard line or the 35, we would set up, we would shuffle our feet, and then we want to make contact on that outside feet and run you down the rail. If he tries to cross your face, you can't be, you got to fight pressure, you got to cross his. But that would be a wall block, okay? Front side block. Now, the next technique would be a double team, okay? Anytime we teach a double team, okay, the low guy, we talk about forming the L. And the low guy, the low part of the L, okay, he has got to be the guy that stops the penetration. They're usually a little bigger. So basically, what I'll tell you is, he's got to do a great job fitting up, stopping the penetration. Now, the other guy, why I got X's, because it can be different guys. I want to learn it conceptually, not, hey, they see two guys and that's not me. No. If you're in a double team and you're the low part of the L, you got to stop the penetration, and the other guy forms the outside, and he wants to stop in the horizontal loop. So basically, we're trying to cave that guy one way or the other. Here's the most important coaching point. The only guy that sees the guy we're doubling is the guy that's the low part of the L. Okay? He sees the guy. The other guy, he doesn't see the cover guy. He's got to see the guy that's the low part of the L. He's got to have his eyes on him and time it up to form the L at the proper time so we can get the movement and the penetration and create that seam we're trying to hit. Okay? And we drill it, we work it. You know what? We fit them up. We'll get to where we do it live, we do it on space, but we fit them up and we store them in the block in a fit position like you do offense or defense or anything else you're trying to work. So the double team. Alright, cutoff block. The cutoff block is I'm on the backside and the ball is running away from you, okay? Now, on a cutoff block, on the wall block, it's coming to you. As a rule, you want to work a man over front side. And a cutoff block, you want to work a man over inside out so you can get leverage on him. And then what you want to do is you want to set your foot in the direction of 30 and not drift. Because here's the most common mistake they make. It's a cutoff block and they drop to the 20 and they're on top of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I want to set your foot down to 30, get around and not give any ground. Okay? And then lock up hands, get inside position, locking, keep your stick moving, keep running vertical plane, and keep that nose on the inside feet. If it's a wall block, the difference is we're going to set it to 35, shuffle, and try to make contact between the 35 and the 30. That's the difference. But I really think those are very, very, very critical, important coaching points, okay? All right? So the cutoff block.
What if you have a kick?
Well, here's the deal. That's a good point, okay? Jason got you guys. I like it. Here's the deal. Here's what we got. That's a good point. If anything that's kicked, say it's a sky kick, then we go sky, and we go right into our sky rules. It's different rules, okay? Sky, it's different rules. And here's what I tell them. If it's not a sky, it's a short kick, we set them quicker. As a rule, these landmarks are general rules, but they might set quicker on a short kick. Does that make sense? Okay? No. That's a great question. Hey, I'm going to tell you a great story about Jay right here. No, let me tell you about Jay Brown. This is like he's asked me all these questions. I go back 29 years ago. Jay and I were coaching together, Stephen F. Austin, Coach S. And I get lucky, I get hired full time. Now, I've been coaching 2 years. I'm a DB. Okay? I'm the D-line coach. I don't have a clue about a damn anything about D-line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just got through playing less than 48 or 2 years ago. I'm a freaking DB at SMU. All right? So I said, Jay, man, you got to give me a crash course on this. So me and Jay were looking at film. And I was asked, remember all the questions I asked you? I didn't have a clue, but how do you know what you draw? How do you know what you screen? How do you know? I didn't. So anyway, now Jay's the D-line that have the special team. So I know how he figures you would know all those questions. But anyway, no, these landmarks are general rules, okay? But I think what Jay's saying is very critical. It's a great question because this is something I maybe don't do enough. I work sky kicks every week. But a lot of times, because of time, I do not do a great job always of working those short kicks where they have to change their landmarks. I think that's such a good point, Jay, and that's something I need to do a better job of. All right, so cutoff block. So now, talking about the front line, they know how to do a double team, long part, short part of the L. They know how to do a wall block, they know how to do a cutoff block. We've worked all of those, okay? Now, the wedge techniques, okay? And this, I'm going to have this for y'all when I sit down. I'm just going to talk you through it. Okay, the first thing is our fullback on the sniper block. And here's how we teach it. He's on the fullback. He's here at 25. When the ball's kicked, he's on block 4. And he's just going to shuffle. And he's going to try to make contact between 25 and 30. Now, all that block is, it's a wall block. He just doesn't have to drop. I say you're already pre-dropped. But it's just a wall block. That's all it is. It's no different. Okay? So we work it, we fit it, we get after it. okay? And then if, see that, I've got it right there. And then if we're going counter, okay, if we're going counter, then we just, it's the same block, we just block him inside out. We call that a crack block, okay? It's the same guy. So they got to know double team, they got to know sniper, they got to know crack. There's the crack I just talked about, there's the crack block. That would be versus the counter. It's the same block, it's just, this is really, technically, it's a wall block, but it's inside out block, okay? Alright, so it's pretty much cut off. Then the double team, form the L just like we talked about. Okay, forming the L with a wedge back and the off full back. Okay? Now, the communication, I think this part is, we work this as much as we work anything. And which what I'll do a lot of times to get extra. Every day after practice, and I know you guys are probably like me, you hate to have to keep them all the time, but I don't keep them long. But it's so much work we get done that I keep the punt returners, or we just have a circle and we go through bam, 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 bam. I work, you know what I work? Hey, put your hand up on a fair catch. Looking a ball off, okay? All kind of different kicks. I get them rugby kicks because you just never know when one of those kicks is going to put him in the basket and you ain't worked his ass on it and he screws it up. So we do a little circuit with those returners of all different kinds of situations. Hey, at the 10-yard line and looking it off and not backing up and just all that kind of stuff, okay? Same thing with the returners. The call returner makes the unique call to what we call our backside returner, and unique call, he's going to take it and give the ball to you. The other call is hot, hot, hot. Anytime we get a hard squib or something like, hey guys, look, I had a team in the SEC that we squibbed it to them, all right before half. And I shit you not, the goddamn, nobody covered it. The fullback just walked off and the ball was laying there. He just walked off, and look, I know them dudes are good coaches on the other team, but they hadn't worked that, right? So I try to work that shit and say, hey, this is how we handle it. If it's hot, let it go. If it's not, cover the damn thing, okay? But but anyway, hot, hot, hot. If they're getting hot, let it go. Then the sky call. Sky call, we make a sky call, we apply our sky rules right or left, okay? And we tie these sky rules in versus rip return, Liz return, the counter, and the middle. They just got to know we review them weekly, and I work it every single week. I work the sky rules just so we don't have a boo-boo there. Because I promise you, breaking down the games, there's teams all over the country that are not handling sky kicks. Okay? And again, I told you, an SEC team, we scribbed them just to be safe, and we got the ball at the 25-yard line, went and screwed up a touchdown. Okay? I mean, that's talk about a city fever. That's about as bad as it gets, I think. Okay? Now, the move. If we get a situation where it's a short kick, like you were talking about, Jay, and we need to move the two-man wedge up, he's still going to handle the ball, but it just says move, and they cheat up. Okay? They cheat up. And then the goal call made on the off return to the two-man wedge to go. Okay? So look, that all seems really easy right here. Everybody got me? Okay? Just like I'll tell you a little story about my wife. I've been married 20 years this month. And all I've ever heard, because I got kids, them women, or everybody's got a wife there, most of it, is how lucky I got. Man, I'm out there eating steaks, recruiting with my buddies, having beers, doing a great life. Well, when I was the head guy, I had to take her with me on a 2-day recruiting trip for a reason. My mom was retiring, so we went to that. I worked some recruiting. Well, guess what? 7th teacher, damn lesson about recruiting. So I got her ass up at 5, and when she got hungry, I said, no, we get crackers at lunch and a Diet Coke, all we got. And I took her to about 6 or 7 schools a day, and we rolled her. So I did that for 2 days, and we got back. And her exact words to me, she says, I've been on my first and last recruiting trip. I'll never be nasty again about how much fun you having out there. Anyway. So anyway, guys, I believe this with all my heart. If you're not doing a great job with this communication, do it. Because it only takes one miscue to get you beat in a big game, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, communicate, we work it, and what I do, I get them down there, and I don't try to get everything done. I say, guys, it's deep balls, UV calls, let's roll, hey, it's rip. Hey, you, me. And then I say, hey, it's all sky kicks today. So I get a sky kick, right, a sky kick, hey, sky, and here we go. Just to get the communication, the reps. And you know what? It doesn't take a lot to get it back in their brains. You know what I'm saying? I think it's real critical. Take that time. So 2 days after on Mondays and Wednesdays, I get the pump returners. Tuesday and Thursday, I get the score returners. And we get some great work. But it's not just that week. It's the second week, the third week, the fourth week. By 6 or 7 days, they've got a shitload of work on them. Okay? All right. Okay, the rep 32, I'll go quick through this. These are our assignments. There's the double team, okay? We want to have between 35. There's a wall block, and there's cutoffs from the back side. That's the front line. The middle backer, we do it with we got a 5-man, really a 6-man front with a middle backer. All right? Okay, then the right fullback, left fullback, wedge back. There's a sniper block, the double team. There's the lead kick out, and there's the front side return. Here's what I'm telling you. He wants to, once he catches that ball, if the ball's kicked wide, we would never get any wider with a 2-man wedge, setting the wedge in between the top of the numbers and the boundary, okay? And the returner has to get the ball, but we're going to get back in that cylinder, and then he wants to aim for the numbers 30 numbers, okay? That's his aiming point, all right? And what you want to look at when he catches the ball, if he's any closer than about 5 yards from that double team, once he takes off, then it was too close, okay? You got to really work those mechanics, all right? So now, just to show you, we got rip, then off it, and look, every single week on our kickoff coverage team, we find keys that normally tell us every time. It might be the left tackle, it might be the center, it might be the fullback, it might be the off return. I mean, we find a key that holds up that tells us, okay, hey, we're keying the fullback. If he holds, it's sideline return. If he drops straight back, it's wedge return. If he drops at a 40, it's counter. I mean, we come up and are y'all finding keys for your kickoff team every week? It's beautiful. So what I try to do with ours is make our keys kind of like a self-scout, so we're not giving that up. I mean, when we run the rip, we run the counter, it's the same look, okay? So here we go right here, and we'll sell this a little longer than this drawing, because we want that to look the same, okay? Now, here's the only thing I'm telling them right here. This is a wall block, but here's what I tell them. It's a wall block, but it's a cutoff angle. That's very critical you tell them that, because what do you tell them a wall block? Work a man over. Well, you don't really want to work a man over here. You want that guy to think you're cutting his ass off and he's running away from you. But really your leverage is different. It's going to be a wall block, but it's a cutoff drop, not a wall drop. Okay? Very clear. I'll show you that on the tape here. Okay? So here's the back line, here's the crack. We sell the double team. The 2 ways we do it. We don't always double it anymore. It's a game plan thing. And some weeks I'll go in and I'll call rip or I'll call double. So we can either double that or single that. We'll call it. And then the returners, I'll change this up as a rule. We want to set it for 3 steps. On some games, it's according to the hang time we study and all that, where they place the ball. But we'll also go 5 steps and then counter. And then this off returner, he's got to read number 2. He's either got to log him or kick him out, or what kind of, he just reads that guy, how tight he squeezes, okay? Okay, so quickly I'll go through this. List 32 with this option. Wall block, double team, cutoffs. Okay? And on the back line, everything is mirror top. Here's the sniper, here's the double team, here's the lead kick out. Okay? Then we got list counter right. Okay? So again, here's the wall blocks, and again, these are wall blocks, but they're actually what? They're actually cut off angles. They're wall blocks, but cut off angles. Okay? And here's cut off, and again, this guy would sell this a little bit more. We will make it look like the double team. Okay? On the back line, here's the crack, here's the single, and then will take 3 to 5 steps, we'll counter back. The off return again has to read that number 2. Okay? Now, this one we really game plan a lot. Here's the deal. We'll carry middle 55 every week. If we get a game where they're cross kickers, or it's a team where they spray the ball all over the place, I might not take Ripper Liz in that week. We might just go with middle. It might be a middle week. Okay? Or if we get in a game and they're getting cute, we're getting all kind of different shit. Middle's a safe bet. Okay? Now, everybody has cut-off blocks, even middle back. All single blocks, we have a way to double team. Okay? On the back side, the wedge back and the fullback, we double R5, we cut off L5, lead on 1, and it's a middle return. Okay? Now, this was a game plan we had for Notre Dame a couple of years ago. We called it Irish double, and we had they moved the ball around hash to hash, and we would double either L5 or R5 with those 2 guys, cut off with everybody else, and then in the back part of it, again, we would double R5 or L5 based on what hash it was with the back guys. Okay? So, again, the thing on that, how we game plan that, how hard are they bending their 1s? How hard are they bending their 5s? Does that make sense? I mean, they're 2s. They're contained guys. It's all how we block it. Do we double both guys? All depends on that for the week. So we changed that up. Okay? So this was, again, Irish double left hash. He would have been, if it had been right hash, that would have been R5, the other block at L5. Okay? Same thing with the back line. So that game, that's kind of how we took that in. Now, real quickly, the drill. Here's what we'll do. We'll start them up. This will be front line. We're going to put them in a football position, and we're going to teach them to stay on a vertical plane, move their feet, shuffle, win with their feet. And I'll do this drill once a week, even during the season. I fit them up and do it, and we get these drills done. Because they got to learn to move with their feet, get their head out. Now, then we'll go drops on there. This is already in camp. Just drop them on there. So they understand the landmarks, getting their head around, all that good stuff. So drops on there. Okay, then we're going to drop some stouts. And guys, what I'm trying to do is get them down here on this end of the field so they're dropping to the landmark that you want them to. But you're not having to run them for 20 yards. You know what I'm saying? Everything's in tight quarters, so we don't wear them out. Drops over there. See, don't want him drifting. Because a lot of times they'll sit up and they'll end up back here because they drift and float. These are all cut-off blocks. Okay? Okay, here comes the wall block. Wall block on there. See, except for the 35, you want that block to happen between the 35 and the 30. That guy's supposed to be Tampa Bay right now. That's one. Okay? See, we got a lot of coaches working and getting this in. Okay? Now here it is. It's a wall block on a scout now. Okay? And you don't have to kill them. It's just good footwork, good mechanics, getting in their brains where they got it. I tell you what, you go talk to them. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but you go tell them, hey, drop to the 35. I mean, shit, that shit go, I mean, you got to rep it. I mean, I think most kids are geared that way. Because you know what? If we could put it in one of the video games and send that shit to them, they know it, man. I mean, I'm trying to be creative I can with teaching nowadays. Okay, now, and here's what I do. Now, the next thing I pre-fill it. And this is just a ride down the rail. This could be a cutoff or a wall block in the same position. And now you just read where you feel. And I want them to feel riding down the rail. Riding down the rail. And we got everybody's doing this at the same time. Okay? Now, then what I'll do after the pre-fit, I drop him again. This is at the end of the drill. So now we're going to have him drop. He's going to make contact, work his feet, ride him down the rail. Okay? Then we'll pre-fit them, and we'll work a retrace. Some other guys are going to work back with them. Again, don't have to kill them, just so they can feel it and get the idea. Then we'll drop them and work the retrace with the scout. Got all these drills going on both ends of the field. And we do these drills every week, even in the season. We try not to get too far from them. You can do them in a hurry, as long as you got enough people doing them. Okay? Then the backline double team, this will be a backline double team and a sniper block. We set it up so they get the feel of the movement. And we've had some, I'll tell you what, we've had some beautiful double teams. Our kids take a lot of pride in that. And again, versus how they're covered, we can single it, not double it some weeks. You know, we will leave the double team. For example, if that guy worked hard outside, 92 can take him over 85, can work to the next level. They shoot a sniper in there or something. He's making way too much. He was way more vertical plane right there. That's just the sniper going on. I want to make sure y'all can see that. Okay. Then we'll go. Then what I'll do, I'll take the front. We got all the front line guys down here, the back line guys down here, and the next thing we'll do is I'll drop all these guys just working. I'll cut drops on there, everybody, taking angles and drops, and that way you're just making sure they understand the landmarks and working them in, all that little stuff, and the back line's back here doing the same thing. Just working our angles, our landmarks. And here's what I tell these guys. To the call side, they would never set the wedge any further than right in the middle of the hash and the numbers. If it's kicked to the away side, they would never work outside the hash. Okay? They would work outside the hash.
Is there a certain distance you want to go between something else in front of the?
Yes, I tell them 10 to 12 yards. It is
10 to 5, all
Yes.
return 5?
Yes, sir. And the all returners 5 stacked, and then if it's kicked away, then I have them inside or outside. See, right here, in this one, we'd be too close right here. We're better timing than that. I'm very good timing there. Okay, so we'll work it both ways, and we'll work all the different returns as well. Okay, we'll do the same stuff as all that, come all in here. Okay, now, here's some game clips. And guys, you know what? We work the living shit out of that. And again, I mean, and some of you might say that it's easy for you to say, I don't get that much time. I do understand. If you get the time to work these drills weekly for the phase, man, you can't put a price on it, but I feel like it does for us. Okay? Pretty good job. This is Rip, 32 lead. It's a real good job here. Locking on, good job on the double team. Good job by the lead blocker. Do a 40 yards return.
Hey, reference to, you don't free call that, right?
Yes, sir.
So if they kick it well, it just goes through the well?
Yeah. Here's the rules I give them, okay? Most of it, that's a good question. Most of the time, but because we're doing so many different returns and we don't get cross-kicked enough, used to what we used to do on this return would be, we call it conversion. It'd be rip, conversion. And if the ball was kicked outside the hash, then we would go Liz with it. We would convert it and go Liz. Right, right. But I got away from it because it was getting too expensive. I felt like I was paying $10 at McDonald's for a cheeseburger, you know what I'm saying? So we got away from it, and because we weren't getting it enough, okay? Now, here's the other thing, okay? So, right now what we would do, if we have a rip car, and again, we don't get cross kicked enough for it to matter, okay? If I would go, like going to a game, I'll go alert, rip 32 lead. And all that means, if they put the ball in the other hash, then we check lids, okay? Or, I'll say this week, let's check middle 55 and be real safe. If they're a team we get in the game, and they're going to be cute, and if they cross-kick us the first time, we just bite the bullet, but then I'll come back and go middle 55 the next call, okay? But if you alert it, and that way they move the hash, then you just check little is, and we practice that week, okay? That's a good question. But this kind of history behind it, used to convert it, because people were caught, you just don't see it much, or we don't see it in college much. I don't know about it in high school, I hadn't studied that enough, but they just don't put on one hash and cross kick enough. And they'll sky kick you, but then your sky rules take over anyway. Make sense? Okay? But it's a really good job here. This is a hell of a job by the sniper, good job by the double team, good job by the kick out, good return. That's a good business. A return there. Okay, here's middle 55. Now I got to tell you a great story here. This is Darius Guys, okay? This was his first return, and this is hilarious. And I was a dummy. I should have had him returning kicks the whole year. And I just, he worried me because, man, his nickname is Taz. He's our backup tailback. I think he's going to play a long time. Leonard Fournette's a good back, but this guy's going to be special. And I call him Taz because, man, he's the Tasmanian devil. Any drills you do, anything you have him do, he does it full bore. He's just one of those guys. So I was worried to death about him, the ball getting kicked 9 deep and him bringing it out. First game, man, he was juiced up. So I get him over there on the sideline. I said, Taz, listen to me close. Put your feet on the white line on the goal line. If the ball is over your head, let the ball go. You got me. Man, you know, he's up there. He's listening, man. He says, Coach, all I can tell you, this bitch is coming out. I said, oh, 6 more This is coming out. And an honest story. So after the game, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they're almost 80 years old each now. Really good health. And, my mother, I never heard a cuss down in my life. I had to tell them that story. We ended up winning the game, and I told them that story. So we played a game later, he returned 180. And my father-in-law was not at that game. He was up in Arkansas. But I had a text on my phone in that locker room. Coach, he brought that bitch out again. but he's a pretty special guy. But, the pride that these kids take with all of us. Here's Bill 55. Good job. It's a good job, good job blocking through here. I mean, not all of them are perfect, but you can see the cutoffs, moving their feet, staying on their blocks. It's a good return. You get out to 35, that's good. Okay, thank you. Got it? Here's the pads again. That's actually limited. It's a good job. It's just good blocking, you know what I'm saying? And getting on their block, staying moving their feet. Good block. And I was real proud of this return. It was in the bowl game. Notre Dame, they were one of the They were leading the country in kickoff coverage. They had to let one get past the 25. Now, in this game, we went all middle 55 because they put the ball in the middle, and they were, or they would change up the hashes and put them, they went everywhere with it. But that was that Irish double I showed you, because we had to work all the hashes. But pretty good return here. I'm going to show you, this kid was real proud of this. He was a senior, and he got beat at back, and watch what he does. Watch how many guys he ends up blocking here. And he works to the next level and gets another one. That's great. He blocks two there and blocks another one. We locked on. I mean, great blocking here, guys. I mean, you see our technique. You see us winning with our technique across the board here. I mean, he's at 10,500 meters. That's a lot of good blocking. I mean, and a lot of work that's been put into it. Those kids do. I mean, that's a hell of a job. Watch the double team right here. I mean, we wore these on one. This was a hell of a job. You know what's fun when you spring. I mean, the one good thing Coach Miles does when we on one of these, he makes a big deal on Monday in that meeting about all the great blocking, and those kids buy in, and it's special to them. You know, they take a lot of pride in it. Okay. You know, for whatever reason, we just don't get the ball on the left hash hardly any at all. Most of the kids, mostly middle right hash, and they're going right with it. So I have a lot of recent lists to show you. See, and the wedge is wrong here. They need to be over here, 10 to 12 in front of him, but we're too close. That's way too close. He can't make a cut off that. And we still get a nice return off of it, but it could have been better. I'm going to show you that this is tagged, okay? What I'm telling you about. Now look, I think this is some good blocking, but I want to show you, this is about as fanatical an effort as I've ever experienced in 30 years. Watch the kid return this kick. It's a good football team we're playing right here now. Watch. Now, we do a good job of lacking on him. We're getting good blocks in here, okay? We're getting good blocks. But what? We got a blocks to get him to about right there, right? Now watch what he does. Watch him the whole way. No, he's still like that. He's from Baton Rouge, Catholic High. So he wants to win. That's why we're scared to death.